julep, julep, julep.
Folks, welcome. I'm really very excited to be sitting down with all of you, especially after enjoying each of your incredible performances in the shows this year. You took what was on the page and you converted those into flesh and blood characters. You gave them nuance, you gave them depth, you gave them complexities. You vanished into those characters and you were the tools through which your directors, your showrunners were able to tell some very important, incredible stories. So thank you for that and welcome to the Series Actors Roundtable 2023.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very much. All of you, thank you.
You know, I'm going to
Because I'm
start by
sitting
saying,
next to him.
you know, I read this interesting quote and I'm keen to know if it makes sense to you all. It's not the things one says yes to, but the things one says no to that defines an actor in his or her career. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, entirely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All my cards on the table for that. Yeah.
I mean, it's also what you say yes to. That's who you are. That's what people know you about.
Yeah.
So I think it works both ways. It's what you say
Yeah.
yes to makes you who you are. What says no builds your character in some ways. And sometimes things that you say no to at some point in your life, you will want to say yes to much later.
Right.
Because there's the only thing that's here is going to change.
Yeah, right, you're right. In that scenario, isn't the way we like actors, the way they're placed, time you're placed in your career is the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
So to make the right decision at the right time, rise up to the occasion is a very big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, also we get, typecasted. So we have to think twice before saying yes or a no to, any director or a producer. And if an actor is saying no, make sure that, they're thinking twice before saying no. So it's
But
a
your
hard
point,
decision.
is optimism.
Yeah.
you're saying.
So I take it in a positive way that I'm saying no for good reasons.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, at whatever stage I am, whatever I've done, it's not been like scripts have come to me to say yes or no to.
Right.
So it's at the audition script level.
Yeah.
So you don't know anything about it.
Correct.
You've never seen the director's face or heard the name or seen their
Right,
work. And
right.
you're supposed to trust everything and say yes or no to an audition script. So you're putting everything out there already before having got the project. So it becomes a no about
Different place, yeah.
whether you want to be there or not.
Yeah.
And it's a weird position.
So what would you do in such a situation?
I say no if I have to.
But wouldn't you want to go and do the audition and then get the script and then say no if you would?
Yeah, well, sometimes a scene gives me a feeling.
Right, I know.
yeah.
And
That
also,
gut
it's usually the
feeling.
strongest scene of the whole part.
Yeah. And then you think that, okay, I just have to see that when I'm on shoot, if I am, will I be tearing my hair apart? Why the hell am I here?
And I've done that in the past, So I have to really think twice.
Everyone has done that.
I'm on the set and I'm regretting.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I think everyone's been there. The
But
rest
how do you do that then? Because when you're an actor, you have to give yourself.
Yeah.
So how do you take that journey when you're regretting it on the first day? How do you?
You know,
what do
somewhere
do?
you're just...
It's a very bad place to be in.
It's a very bad place to be in. And I'm like, what did I think? Why did I say yes? I should have just thought a little more.
So what is something you do to get through it?
I think now I ask for scripts. I want to know where I'm placed.
Yeah.
What is the dialogue? How am I doing it? Then I imagine myself. What is my screen time? Everything now I decide. Like I've become wiser now, with time.
And also you
I've
show
burned my
courage,
hands a lot of
The point
times.
is that you show courage with saying no. Like what he said. The point, like all of us want to be famous. All of us want to make as much money as we want to make. But saying no to a job that we came in here to the industry to do the whole time, it takes a lot of courage. Show courage. You'll get through that.
but does it feel like a doctor saying no to a patient?
No, sir.
A little less. नहीं ये वाला नहीं चाहिए.
Just to add to what, sorry.
Yeah.
please.
No, Jisha.
No. नहीं, No, you know, pass it to him.
बॉल एकदम फेंक दी
Following.
कैच करनी पड़ रही हाँ मैं एक्चुअली बड़ा गलत आदमी हूँ शायद इस सवाल के लिए क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि हम ना कई बार बहुत ज्यादा सीरियसली ले लेते हैं अपनी करियर एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स आई थिंक इट इज मोर अबाउट इफ यू फील लाइक उस वक्त में कि यार ये कैरेक्टर करने का मेरा मन है
Yeah.
हो सकता है वो प्रोजेक्ट उस तौर पे बड़ा सेफ और उस जोन में ना हो
जी
बट मैं हाँ बोल देता हूँ
Right.
कि यार अभी ना ये मजा आएगा। कभी ऐसा होता है कि यार आपका ये दुकान चल रही है, वो जो एक स्टेटमेंट है ना कि चलती गाड़ी का बोनट नहीं खोलना चाहिए। मुझे लगता है यार खोल लो, कोई परेशानी नहीं है। चलती गाड़ी का बोनट आपको लगे तो आप कीजिए, एंड इफ यू फील लाइक कि नहीं यार ये नहीं करना, जबकि मुझे इससे शायद फायदा बहुत ज्यादा हो सकता है, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स दैट प्लस उसके अंदर जो एक कॉमन मतलब जो सब लोग बोल रहे हैं हाँ और ना वाला, मेरा भी वहां से एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट जो अभी करिश्मा और वरुण जो बोल रहे थे उससे कहीं मिलता जुलता आता है कि मैं अपनी जिंदगी के 45 दिन 50 दिन किसी को देने वाला हूँ।
जी
उन लोगों को देने हैं 50 दिन, उसका क्या होगा देखिए मेरा बड़ा साफ मानना है किसी को नहीं पता।
Right.
अगर वो पता होता तो सब चल रहा होता है, एवरीवन विल बी सक्सेसफुल इफ देयर इज एनी फॉर्मूला। तो आई थिंक फन है। और मैं एक लाइन हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि यार मुझे लगता है हर आदमी ना अपने ऊपर एक नॉवल लिख रहा है, जिस दिन हम वो लिखना बंद कर देंगे ना चीजें बड़ी आसान हो जाएंगी। सो दैट इज हाउ आई
so
थिंक।
saying don't overthink it sometimes.
हाँ करना चाहिए, हैव अ जर्नी, इट विल बी फन, दिस इज व्हाट आई बिलीव।
Yeah, and basically, where are you in that time in your life?
Right.
Which is very important.
Correct.
क्योंकि हर एक की जर्नी अलग अलग है, हर एक का फाइट अलग अलग है। मेरी जो फाइट है शायद उसकी नहीं है, और इनकी नहीं है, इनकी नहीं है, तो हमें उस तरह से ही जाना पड़ेगा।
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I think more often than not, जैसे कि सुकान भाई बोल रहे थे कि there is one scene that when you get called for an audition, there's one scene. So to have that clarity of judgment कि आप उस एक scene से evaluate कर रहे हैं कि पूरी script कैसी होगी या पूरी film कैसी होगी, but sometimes that scene is a clear indication of the
Yeah.
quality of storytelling.
Right.
True.
So that's when it helps you to make that choice, which is slightly more informed. And sometimes you don't have that luxury. And I feel like for me, when I'm not sure about something, then I'd rather have the courage to say no.
Say no.
And then either wait for something else to come or just keep myself busy in my routine. Yeah.
Singing covers, basically.
Singing covers, yeah.
Or Lavnis.
For me,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. No, I was gonna say about singing. Na, someone's told me that you're a very good singer.
Yeah,
so later I'm gonna ask you to sing.
गिटार भी बहुत अच्छा बजाता
Works cannot be.
Yes, Sivayal.
है। Thank you.
I got it right.
For me, it's like abhi I'm just starting my career.
Yeah.
It's my first project. Luckily, I'm sharing with you guys, or I'm happy. This is my Rancho moment from 3 Idiot. कि इतने अच्छे एक्टरों के बीच बैठ रहा हूँ तो बड़ा खुशी हो रही है. So, but प्रोजेक्ट्स को लेके ये है कि जब हम लोगों के पास स्क्रिप्ट आती है तो एक आपके पास आप पढ़ते हो, आपको राइटिंग से थोड़ा बहुत एक आइडिया आ जाता है कि ओके ये वर्क कर सकता है या राइटिंग अच्छी है, और इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ वेरी क्लीशे राइटिंग, बट आप ऑडिशन देते हो फिर भी बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन. आप आउट इफ यू आर कमिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड यू डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन, तो आप ऑडिशन देते हो, आप वहीं से अपना प्रैक्टिस करते हो, वहीं यू लाइक पॉलिशिंग योर क्राफ्ट. फिर आप ऑडिशन दे के यू गेटिंग सेलेक्टेड, शॉर्ट लिस्टेड, आप डायरेक्टर से मिलते हो कि आप बोलते हो कि मुझे स्क्रिप्ट दे दो, एंड दे वर लाइक कि वो तो उसको भी नहीं दिया है. एंड देन यू आर लाइक
थोड़ी ज़्यादा honesty हो गई.
यू आर इन दैट प्लेस कि ओके अब क्या करूं मैं एग्जैक्टली, लाइक यू डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन. एंड अगर आप ना बोलते हो कि because you don't know, अगर if you'll say yes you don't know, you don't have written material.
Correct.
And then you, if you're saying no, and then this I don't know how to handle this.
True.
But,
But every decision, every choice is a leap of faith, isn't it? At some
Yeah,
point?
at some it is.
Oh yeah.
And also, it doesn't stay the same. No?
Yeah.
Something that's on paper that you're convinced with
Correct.
might not seem what it is on set when you go there. Or it appears differently when actors live it. And
Yeah.
I have one way of getting through that, and that way is my decision is wrong. It's nicer to trust the others with it. See, because your knowledge is limited to what you know in your life. And I just feel there are filmmakers and writers who know more of life than we do. So something that I'm not convinced about, I just pick saying, okay, you know this. Let me just put all guns with you and
Sort of
and
go with
blaze.
your vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's an easy way to get out of that too.
I till very recently it was the same audition script, you know. So as others said, you try to understand as much as you can how the scene made you feel and the storytelling made you feel. But if I do have the luxury, right, it's not about the role. Like it's not ki, oh, I'm playing a police officer, or if I'm playing a student, or I'm playing, you know, this a loser, quote unquote. It's about the how I can bring the quality of being a human being to
that character, and whether that quality is making me explore something new within myself. Right? If that is happening, then I feel very excited. If that's not happening, then I feel like, I have to figure out.
It was very articulate, by the way.
Thank you very much. I do this.
No, I completely agree with him because even for me also, like I have a certain space from his side कि कि audition देना है फिर select हुए नहीं select हुए script मिल रही है नहीं मिल रही है when you go through that kind of a space and then you are in this space कि अच्छा किस तरह के किरदार हैं क्या है उनमें किस तरह की टीम है. So all these things are so matter because at the end of the day you're portraying someone's life. Maybe be it a real person's life or maybe you're creating someone from the real area. So I think
Even if you're playing a serial killer, right? Like no matter like what society deems as not untouchable,
Right.
you can bring humanity to that.
Absolutely.
And that is what makes it something worth watching.
So typically, how many pages into a script or how many minutes into a narration do you know if you want to do it or not?
Before it starts.
No, I can't.
Body language of the writer or director who's narrating.
Before it starts, okay.
I actually always prefer reading the material than listening to a narration.
yeah.
Because people sometimes can be great storytellers,
Yeah.
but that might not necessarily translate into a great
Yeah, yeah.
screenplay. So I will trust the written word more than the spoken word.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, for me also, bound script has to be there. So.
But
And also context, right? When you're reading it, you sort of.
Yeah.
I've been in narrations where, writers are smart and directors are really smart. They can convince you you're at the center of that script. And then you read it, you're like, huh?
No, that is not what that means is that you're not smart.
No, but a lot of times maybe it's a great material on script. Narration is also very nice. Everything is very nice, but you never know if something can go wrong.
Yeah, that's what you
So it's just a leap of faith, which is like that. Everything has to be correct. Every department has to be correct. So तभी कुछ अच्छा निकल आएगा नहीं तो फिर.
And reading a script slowly is so much fun. Like, when you read just 2 pages and then you just sit with the 2 pages.
Yeah, and you get to use your own imagination when you're reading.
That means I'm not doing this film.
I read slow anyway. Even a book, I'll just read 1 page. Sorry, bhai, tu kya bol raha tha?
No, that only. Like when you read it slowly, I feel like you also get to visualize it yourself as opposed to seeing what another person is seeing, which is also important because he's the director at the end of the day. But as an actor, I feel like it's important for me to see the story from my eyes because that makes it more personal for me.
Sometimes it is also like for me, where was that who is narrating it, for me was very important at that time. I've only had one, where Debakar narrated Ghost Stories to me. Suddenly in his office, he just broke into the story. And for 2 seconds, I was like, oh, is Debakar Banerjee narrating a story to me? What will my friends say? Because we're all great fans of some of his films. So for a moment, I got lost there. I said, I'm already doing it. Don't even ask me the question afterwards, are you going to do it? I'm
The
already
baggage
doing it.
allows you.
Aren't you lucky it turned out to be a good script? It would have been really
Damn
awful
hell.
after that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, this is shit, but I just said yes to Debakar before hearing the whole thing.
And I remember the narration. I remember what it got made into, and it was exactly how he told me. He had sketches of those monsters made, and he showed me those sketches, and I was like, yeah, I'm selling shoes for you. So it's film is another thing altogether.
Then also, जो सवाल आपने पूछा, I would just say कि वो I think script पे डिपेंड करता है कि किसी स्क्रिप्ट में एक्चुअली आप शुरू करते हैं और आप बोलते हैं ना भैया इधर घुस ही नहीं सकते हैं, कोई आधे में आपको कुछ बताती है. और मेरे साथ वो भी हुआ है 2-3 बार कि आपने पूरा पढ़ा यार बढ़िया और लास्ट पेज पे आपने कहा धत ये नहीं कर सकते. सो आई थिंक वो स्क्रिप्ट वाला प्रोजेक्ट टू प्रोजेक्ट डिपेंड करता है कि कब आपको ये रियलाइज होता है. कई बार मिलने से पहले वो भी हो सकता है.
But do you read the whole thing even if you're not feeling it on page 10? Will you complete it?
Yes, sir.
I do.
Yeah.
Rana?
I think
Very
here it's
silent.
I mean, see,
Rana, what do
okay,
you
I just did one show, right? We're a movie world.
Yeah.
And in the first 25 pages, we kind of figure out if
Yeah.
that's the tale we want to be part of or not. But with the series, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think we learned over season 1 by watching the other shows that were going on.
Yeah.
Because my brain is still a 3-hour brain.
Yeah.
Like that's how stories form in my head. And it was quite hard for me to, like I used to miss continuity because it was so long.
Right.
Right. So on the show I had a one-line order that's what we do in film that I had on the set every day. Because otherwise I just didn't make sense of 11 hours. Okay, he's coming in episode 7, but I see him in 1. We're shooting 1, 8, and 9. Like,
It's not linear.
That didn't. So I think I'm still in that process of getting it. But I think you'll know in the first 25 pages, or at least the 20 pages of what your character speaks, whether you want to be part of it or not.
Anyone else?
सर मेरे लिए तो अभी सिनेरियो इज टोटली डिफरेंट. पहले स्क्रिप्ट आती नहीं थी, अब नाउ आई एम गेटिंग स्क्रिप्ट्स तो मैं पूरा ही पढ़ता हूँ. लाइक मैं 2 बार भी पढ़ता हूँ, 3 बार भी पढ़ता हूँ.
But there are certain things is no for me.
Right.
Like how it's written about, especially the women characters.
Yeah.
How the LGBTQI community has been portrayed, if they are part of
right.
it. Like, I know that I'm playing someone else, but how the other people have been portrayed, or so they are completely no. I don't think so. I would like to do anything which is a space of propaganda.
Right.
I don't want to degrade, like, any kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So that space is complete no for me. I would not do something which is, a caricature and all that. So yeah,
Okay.
there are few no's.
There is a firm about. Lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think you're a better actor today than you were when you started out?
Oh,
And how did you get better? If you
I just started out.
yeah.
Same.
But I mean, you're 3 projects down, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Like
Yeah,
three
what-
Gotten better?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I feel like every time I go, if I'm able to be honest, truth, like real honest to myself in that scene, then I have done my job. I do not compare it to what I've done earlier, because I feel like if you compare it, then you try to repeat it as well, try to repeat your successes. And I think that's a slippery slope for any actor.
So, and I started with theater. So theater is totally different from
Yeah.
like camera work. So
Correct.
camera mein it's my first project. So I think I'm learning craft.
Yeah.
I'm constantly changing. आप बदलते रहते हो with time.
जी.
Like 6 months later you will be totally different person.
Correct.
Next year. So I'm changing. I think
Nice.
I'm learning in this industry. I'm learning how this industry works. Like currently.
Yeah, good luck.
Others?
I think I try not to repeat the same mistakes that I've made in the past. And I just try to learn from that. Yeah, mostly just that. So I don't think I'm a very good judge of whether I'm improving as an actor or not. But I make sure that I keep like I feel like practice is the only
Yeah.
form of improving yourself as an actor, and in terms of anything, any profession,
Any discipline, actually.
any
Yeah.
discipline.
Yeah.
And that's my firm belief that the more I practice, the better I'll get.
And when you say practice, you just mean shoot more, do more work?
shoot more, do more workshops, read more, just general more awareness, more listening. Constantly keep reminding myself that about all these things in general, and not to be too sort of sucked into the vortex of the business,
Right.
Yeah, just that.
Jishan?
आई थिंक बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स सवाल है, बहुत मुश्किल है ये क्या तो सवाल
You a better actor or not? I don't know, man.
मतलब आई वुड से कि एक तो जो एक दिमाग में है कि भाई ऐसा कुछ काम करना है, आई थिंक उसकी तरफ एक कंटिन्यूसली ट्राइंग टू मूव फॉरवर्ड.
Right.
एक वो प्रोसेस आई थिंक सारे ही एक्टर्स
Correct.
वो एक फॉलो करते ही रहते हैं. सो आई होप आई एम अ बेटर एक्टर देन आई वाज. एंड पर एट द सेम टाइम आई वुड से कि ये बिल्कुल कई बार लगता है बहुत स्ट्रांगली कि जितना एक बेसिक तौर पे ही एक काम करा आपने और शाम में आप थोड़ा एग्जॉस्टेड फील कर रहे हैं कि यार आज ना कुछ निकला, एंड मे बी आई लर्न समथिंग न्यू, आई थिंक ये काफी कम ही हुआ है. तो आई वुड से कि बड़े बीच में है ये चीज. कई बार लगता है कि यार तो मैं अभी आज ऐसे बाहर बोल रहा था कि अफ्रीकन ड्रम खरीदने का शौक सबको है पर बजानी डफली है उंगली से. सो देयर इज नो पॉइंट. तो वो कहीं फंसाता है. बट आई थिंक आई एम ट्राइंग टू बी बेटर
Sure.
अगेन एंड अगेन होपफुली.
Rajeev?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you feel you're a better actor today than you were when you started out?
I think I'm like, that constantly into that learning space. I don't see monitor. I I am very, very scared. I'm always nervous. I always have that goosebumps. Even now, also, I feel like I don't know, you know. But yeah, and I hardly watch my work. Yeah, I know. But I think that learning space will never go.
Yeah.
I was before, maybe today I'm getting a little work, maybe because of what work I had done before through my film festival films, which is like with hardly very less people know about it. But yeah, like someone has seen something somewhere and they remember me and they said, okay, वो उसको बुलाओ वो वहाँ वो वाले festival में मैंने film देखा. So I'm glad that people are kind of, they have seen
Discovering
my
your work,
work.
yeah.
So maybe I'm going
In the right direction.
yeah, but that learning is there. I
Right.
don't think so. Maybe today I have done a like whatever the recognition is there,
Yeah.
but maybe tomorrow I won't do better because again, it's not only me; it's the whole team.
True.
If they don't do well, I will also not do well. If I do well, whatever. Everything has to
it
be
has to complement
current.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm here for Trial by Fire, it's because of the team.
Right.
They're the ones who, give me that space.
Rana?
Well, I hope so. I'm getting better. I still have a job going.
Yeah. I suppose that's the only barometer, right?
Yeah.
Still getting
You still
work. The
have some-
parts are getting better. I must be doing something right.
But it's like you keep learning over
Yeah.
time, right? I mean, I have something that I do opposite of that, where every shot I go back to the monitor and look, and we
Interesting.
go back into the edit, we go back and reshoot if it's not good enough. Like, but the fear is
have to work
extremely
together,
there.
that
Right?
means.
I said of course, yes, and the fear is extremely there. I mean, it's there from the day I started my first film. It's there even now. It'll be there
a
even
good
before
sign.
we, yeah, because I think through that nervousness, through that energy is where you're constantly trying to put your best out, and ultimately a set is an energy that converts, right?
Yeah.
And I think if everyone's in that positive piece, you'll keep getting better. And I think you keep, at least for me, I got better one with the kind of filmmakers you work with.
Sure.
The people who are more diverse than you are, seen much more life than you
Yeah.
have. And I think understanding life over time. So you gain some things, you lose some things. So like I was actually having a conversation with the director a week ago. I don't like when I started out, there's a sense of innocence. Like, and I don't know if I have that anymore.
But that sort of goes with time, right? The more you work, that sort of
So I think you lose some things, you gain some things over time, and you're evolving as an actor, and that's what people want to see ultimately.
I actually come from TV, sir.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Everybody in Barun knows it. So yeah,
I came with you.
Yeah. When I started, the game was totally different. Sir. It was TV, and there are a lot of takes, there are a lot of cuts, and if you've got the cut, it's fine. So over a period of time, I was very used to taking just two lines and just doing it and not focusing on the character graph because you're running short
you're
of time
against
and
time all the
it's a
time,
daily
yeah.
soap and all that. So I've been used to that, and suddenly when I started doing workshops, when I started doing OTT, I realized that the game is totally different. But the experience, the confidence was there because I've been doing scripts on the spot.
Right.
So that confidence,
Correct. You knew you could do it. Yeah.
I knew that I'm not gonna get nervous or kind of fumble in front of the
Overwhelmed,
camera
yeah.
with people and all that. So that experience came from TV.
Right.
But the direction, the game totally changed when I worked with Hansal sir, when I worked with Tanuja ma'am. Every time you're learning so much from them and you're getting better in the character, and that's when you realize that this is the space I'm enjoying and I'm learning every time. So, and also I like to be thorough with my script. I don't like to be nervous in front of the camera where what is my next line.
Right.
I like to focus on my emotions and get into the character where people, when people are watching me, they totally forget Karishma Tanna and they get into what I am playing, And I had read somewhere where Nasir ji had said that, make your script your second skin. That it has to be so thorough that you're with the character, and people forget Nasir sir. So I like to be well prepared when I'm on the set.
Nice.
So so I think I'm becoming better.
Okay.
And I'm still learning. I'm very greedy to work and learn every day from different people.
Lovely. Bhavan?
If I may remind you,
I've said it for you.
yours was a closed-ended question. It was a yes or no.
Yeah, and I said, and I also did say that, you know, if yes, then what
So yes.
what do you do? What is
I'm not being cocky.
Okay.
It's just that when I started, I was so bad. I was horrible when I started. I just had to get better. So I think yes, I'm a better actor.
what do you do to get to that place?
Apply myself. I actually didn't love my job as much as I love it now. When I started, to be honest with you, I was a rookie when I started. Of course, everyone is, but I don't think I was as matured. I understand writing better now. I've kind of tried to figure out life. I'm still trying to figure out the industry, by the way, and that's why I said good luck. So I think I have a more a level head. That helps me, I think.
Agree with all of them.
The short answer.
But yes, I believe I'm
But
better.
mine was the shortest. I just wanted to say yes, by the way.
Okay.
No,
And I prodded
I
you, yeah.
believe I'm better. I believe that there is no point if I can't look back at what I've done before and feel like now if I had done that, I would have done it better. Or and yet it's such a slippery thing.
Yeah.
Like on the next day, you
could
can
be-
fall miserably and gloriously, and you feel like I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So where the hell am I? And it puts all sorts of doubts. And I think, I don't know if everyone agrees, but I operate from a great sense of fear.
Yeah,
Everyone pretty much
Yeah,
says that.
yeah.
I'm nervous now.
Yeah, I'm scared to pick up that santre ka piece and not look
Oh
like.
my God.
No, take it. We are not scared of this.
Thank you. But yeah.
I get your point.
I hear you, yeah.
Okay. You know, to set some context, may I ask each of you, what was that one idea, perhaps that one dialogue, that one scene, that one reason that you wanted to do this particular specific show that you did this year? In that script, in that show, what was that one reason that just spoke to you and you decided that's you became interested to do that show?
I think for me, it was I was playing a real character, a crime reporter, a mother, a very ambitious reporter who wanted to be at the top, and because of people's competition or their insecurities, the way she was brought down and put behind bars. That was the reason for me to play this role, because when I met her, I felt what she went through, and it's not it's not a crime to be ambitious as a woman, and to be at the top and to be competitive. But because of the insecurities around and her, her fellow people around her, they brought her down and they literally put her behind bars. And I think it was a very challenging role. She was playing a mother. She is a independent woman. She comes from a middle class family, so she had a lot of graphs.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons which helped me took this role up.
Okay. Rajeev?
Of course, I also played the real life person.
Yeah.
But it's too personal, I feel like, because we all go through some other kind of, life stories.
Yeah.
And but someone like Neelam Krishnamurti who has, seen that life, like for 25 years, she lived that life. And I was so curious to know how she did that.
Yeah.
I was so involved into her, like, how, like, what happened after that?
Yeah.
What kind of a routine these two
Yeah.
people must be going through?
Yeah.
And when I was going through that, there was so many things was happening around me. It was third wave of pandemic. My mother got COVID, and we all were going through, really, really hard time. And I was portraying Neelam. So everything was so too close to me. And then, every day I felt like, every scene I felt like, it's such an important story, and I'm feel so honored, and I feel, that I'm grateful that I'm, playing this part. So, yeah, that was the question, right?
I mean, what was that one reason that became the reason for you to
Yeah.
become interested in that?
Yeah, that's the reason, because of Neelam Krishnamurti, because it's so close, like, it's real, it's
Yeah.
important, and
Yeah.
that's the one thing.
Okay.
Mine is not real, but he's called Rana.
Yeah, yeah. As close as you can
It's
get.
original and just used it.
As close as you can get.
So, but why the show? I was always interested in topics that are taboo to society that you
Yeah.
can tell in a very mainstream form.
Right.
Right? Because at some point we try to tell that in cinema, it becomes very art house.
Yeah.
It becomes a subgenre in some ways. But this had child abuse that was in a gangster drama set inside of a family. Now, to me, that was very interesting. Now, it's family drama that everyone gets.
Yeah.
It's topics that you don't want to talk about are spoken very boldly and harshly. So I think that was the first reason that I got onto it. And also somewhere it was a pandemic idea where, okay, what do we do now?
Right.
Hence, we don't know when cinemas are opening up. We might not have a job for a couple of years. How do we get cracking on this?
Correct.
So it was funny because we started developing something back in Hyderabad and we realized none of us ever made shows. Whether it's the directors, the writers, it was
Learning a
figuring
new
out-
format,
which is a
yeah,
new
yeah.
format. And again, like we said, we were still minds that new film and not the other way around. So I think once the adaptation of Ray Donovan came, that was easier for me to understand. I was like,
Right.
okay, now this is what we're doing. And Karan was really the reason. I'd been a big fan of Mirzapur as soon as I saw
This is
it.
Karan Anshuman.
Karan Anshuman. And he had a very interesting way that he saw culture in Bombay, which wasn't depicted before in cinema or any form. So I think that made me get on.
Right. Okay. Ishan?
I think for me more than the character, show जिस बारे में बात कर रहा था,
जी.
I think that was really really important. और मेरे एक्चुअली इसमें दो लेवल्स हैं. पहला तो ये है कि हंसल कर रहा था तो करना ही था. उसने मुझे क्लियरली बोला था कि हाँ मैं वो बना रहा हूँ, उसमें एक एडिटर का रोल है, कर रहा है. तब आई डिड नॉट नो कि वो इतना बड़ा कैरेक्टर है. मुझे पता नहीं कुछ आता होगा, कहीं चला जाता होगा. बट शो से मुझे कब प्यार हुआ जब मैंने स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ी. आई थिंक कुछ सबसे बेहतर स्क्रिप्ट्स जो मैंने आज तक पढ़ी हैं उनमें से एक मुझे लगी स्कूप की स्क्रिप्ट. बहुत खूबसूरत लिखी थी और वो जो बात कह रही थी, और उससे बेटर क्या है कि एक शो जो जिसमें आप बिलीव करते हो वो बात कह रहा है और वो आपके मुंह से बोला जा रहा है.
जी.
मोस्ट ऑफ द लाइंस
Correct. Is your- yeah, you're the conscience in a sense. Yeah, yeah.
तो मैंने कहा यार इससे अच्छी तो कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी हो ही नहीं सकती.
Correct.
तो बाकी सब पीछे रख के ये शो तो करना ही है. तो
right.
आई थिंक दैट वाज द मोमेंट.
Okay. Others?
I think it was the flamboyance of Jugnu that really stood out for me.
Right.
I think the flair of the character,
Yeah.
and but also that essentially all of that was just disguise.
Correct.
It was a veil to just hide his insecurity and his and their inadequacy that really stood out for me. And I remember a friend of mine was once telling me that there's a certain American actor who likes to paint between takes.
Interesting.
So he acts, he gives a shot, and then between the takes, he goes and makes a scenery or whatever he wants.
Right.
And then he goes back and acts again. And that really, the idea of that appealed to me because I felt like I had that opportunity to do that with Jugnu. I mean, not literally,
Yeah.
but because that character had the scope to paint my own scenery
Right.
and to make it my own and really stimulated my imagination. So yeah, I feel like all of these things put together, and of course Raj and DK directing
Yeah. Hard to say no to that, right?
yeah.
Sahil? And Bali is just such a colorful character.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
For me, sir, because India में teenager show जो बनते हैं, teen high school drama kind of, so we don't have this like we have this lover boy next door kind of
Correct.
content mostly. जब मेरे पास script आई थी, it was about like the sexual orientation, the class divide, and you have this layered show.
Yeah.
So script पढ़ने के बाद मैंने character पढ़ा बल्ली का, so I really like that character because मैंने देखे हैं दिल्ली में
ऐसे, हाँ.
बल्ली kind of like zone में boys. So I like the script and but I was nervous at the same time कि कैसे होगा ये, कैसे करूँगा like because there's a lot of
बढ़िया किया.
yeah. So thank you. And it was my first project, so I don't have any option.
Could never be more honest than
Yeah,
that.
that was also a thing. Because I was thinking saying no to project because I was like, okay, will I be able to pull off this character?
Right.
Because already किसी actor ने बहुत अच्छे से किया हुआ है वो. आपको उतना नहीं, उसे 2 नॉच ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा उसे परफॉर्म करने के लिए.
Correct.
एंड अगर आप सही से नहीं कर पाओगे तो आप बहुत गाली खाओगे.
अरे
तो I was nervous कि यार ये करना है नहीं करना है. Then I said yes because I really liked the script because it was about young kids, about their sexual orientation, about their mental health, about social media anxiety.
Correct.
It was a full like package show. So I
Very
was like,
relevant sort of themes for
Yeah,
today's
yeah,
times,
yeah.
no? Yeah.
And I was
So I was
stalking
like,
him on
let's go, let's do
Instagram
it.
today. I was stalking you on Instagram today, and I saw that whole transformation thing that you had posted.
Yeah, for 2 years. Sir. I
For-
thought कि 3 महीने में हो
It
जाएगा.
was crazy.
But I was eating chicken
Body,
breast
yeah,
and
like
broccoli for
full,
2
like
years.
he's worked out and he's put his
Same
diet
यार,
and
एक साल तक
stuff
मेरा
and-
भी ऐसे मैंने भी कितना 14-15 kg बढ़ा लिया था वजन नीलम के लिए और ऐसा लग रहा था पता नहीं
it's
क्या
tough,
होगा
it's
because
tough.
2 months we suddenly just stopped shooting because of there was a lockdown
Right.
और मैंने already वजन बढ़ा लिया था और फिर खाई जा रही थी it was very difficult.
It's not good for your like mental health at the same time
Yeah.
physical health.
Yeah,
Because
मतलब
आपका
वो
फिर vitamin fluctuate हो जाता है, you having cranks and all, you know, the mental, you
It
like
takes a toll on,
stress.
on,
yeah,
on,
yeah,
the, on the
yeah.
mind and the body.
And COVID.
Correct.
yeah everything was together I think.
Yeah.
Lot of things.
Babel?
As he said, at the time I did railway, I said yes to railway. I didn't have an option. Like it was not like I was like, I'm going to choose whether I want to do this or not. Like, of course I will do this. But to be very honest in analysis of it, right? It was the perspective with which Shiv and Ayush were looking at everything, and that night,
Yeah.
right? It was it made me question myself, like, what is heroism, right? At the end of the day, it is just
That's
a
the
point
question
of
it
view,
asks, correct.
right? It is just like,
Yeah.
at any given time, any of us can be a hero. It's just at the point of
you
crisis,
rise to that
what do
occasion,
you
yeah.
choose,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of really fascinated me. Also, you know, dealing with so much turmoil and pain in my life, I thought that if I could get this idea to people, not I, as in,
Sure.
if through this, you know, people could get this idea within themselves and they're having difficulty with themselves, or, you know, they're facing whatever they're facing, they will have some courage to look at it in a different light. And that, I think, really fascinated me. But there was no, like, I didn't have an option.
Initially,
So I was initially asked to audition for another character, which was Ketan, the police guy.
Right.
Yeah, for Kala Pani. And I found that scene very interesting in the car with the doctor, and you know they're just playing this one-upmanship game, and this desperation was very interesting. So I tried it, and it was very nice of the casting people at anti-casting to say, "You want to shoot in the car?" I said, yeah, for sure. Why not? This is not theater. Gaadi mein chalte hain. So we shot in the car. It was fun, and I think they were considering me. But then they said, okay, why don't you audition for this, for Chiranjeevi's character, Chiru's character? And I read the script, and I was already interested because the other scene had been fun.
Right.
And here I saw, पहले उसने बोला मेरा बाप बेकार है, मेरी माँ बेकार है, मेरा भाई बेकार है, मेरा दोस्त तू पागल है, ये अंडे कछुए के चुरा रहे हैं, एक बोट ढूंढ रहे हैं, टूरिस्ट को बोट चाहिए, उसको वो नहीं चाहिए, ये कौन सी दुनिया है यार, ये इंडिया है? I didn't know that. And उधर मैंने कहा ये कहाँ पे शूट, ये कहाँ पे ऑडिशन करें, कहीं गड्ढा खोद सकते हैं क्या? बोलते हैं हाँ, ऑफिस के बाहर वो मिट्टी है मैदान, वहाँ पे चलते हैं. So actually did. मैंने कहा यार यहाँ पे गड्ढा खोदने में इतना मजा आ रहा है, अंडमान में कितना मजा आएगा?
चलो ये कर ही लेते हैं.
So it was that. There was every reason for me to say no. I asked the casting people, why are you casting me? Why don't you take a person from the south, from Andaman? Is it a case of misappropriation? All this political correctness hits you. Are you going to give me a tan? Are you going to do all that business with me? Am I to put on some accent? Like, why don't you just make a simple choice and cast some? Why me? And then they said, no, you. So I, okay, this is something, everything is against me.
Right.
So I have to do it.
Right. Nice. And what a great arc Chiru has here. I mean, he's really a character that sort of goes from one place.
Yeah,
to
I mean, the writers just,
completely
they've just put it out there, just lead you to it.
different.
Mine was when the first time Sudeep called me up. So that was one of the times when I made up my mind before reading the script.
Yes.
So yeah, because I'm a very big fan of Patal Lok. Yeah, and all of Sudeep's writing is amazing. I mean, the complexity of the way he writes. So I think I made up my mind then, but I could have said no if the script was not good. But the script was so complex and hit the right spot.
You know, this is a question for anyone who wants to take it. Did playing this character change you in any way?
It made me popular.
But you know, internally, did it change the way you look at the world? Maybe that's too lofty, but did it have any sort of...
Yeah,
When I did the
sure.
flip side, I became less popular in my state.
That is correct.
Sure.
That is correct.
Yeah, that is correct. So that very rarely happens, but it did.
How could you?
Yeah, it's like, what?
So at least changed your name.
No, but I think every character does that to you. I mean, at least who I am now is all of the films that I've done. Some part of that guy is in me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Vice versa, and it lands up. Right? I don't think it's every character that does it, and otherwise it shouldn't be effective.
Yeah.
It was.
It's not changed me because I leave my character on the set, and when I'm at home, I am me. So I like to keep real and real life separate because I'll go insane otherwise. But having said that, the role which I played was almost like what I am in real life.
Right.
I talk fast. I want to be competitive. I am ambitious. So it's kind of me only.
Right.
So I had no such problem in leaving the thing.
Okay.
For me, no, it was very difficult to leave her. And I think I would love to carry Neelam with me. I've learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from the whole team of Trial by Fire too. Because this subject had to have a very sensitive and sensible team, which we had. Prashant Nair, brilliant director. Somu, who shot the series. The whole team, the whole unit was so quiet, so respectful to each and every person. Because I've worked on some set where the crew has not been respected.
Yeah.
Here, Netflix and all, and the team has really taken care of us.
Yeah. And you also see those, I'm sorry to interrupt. You also see that in the choices that the filmmakers have made in the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, whether it's about showing the tragedy in the last episode when they've set context and explained what they've been through, or even in the way that they end the show, because the show, of course,
you know,
didn't
and
have an ending,
it shows. I feel like, of course, you have written a good script, you have everything right, but how you deal with people on set, that matters to me a lot. You may be making a masterpiece, but if you're not like handling your team properly, then no.
Yeah.
But I feel, that's the reason this project is very close to me. Neelam is very close to me because the whole graph was exactly like right.
Yeah.
And Neelam, I take some of my characters home. They stay with me.
Yeah.
They move me in a very bad way, in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Did this part change you in any way?
I don't think the character, of course, every character, like Rana sir said, gives you something. If you do it honestly, then it does give you something, and something leaves you as well.
Right.
But I won't get into that. I think just playing Imad, I learned how to listen more, and I became a better listener. And I don't think you can learn how to listen. I think life creates circumstances where you're put in a position where you have to listen, right? And that's when you listen.
Yeah.
So with me, it was just that, like, all of these really great actors are around me, and how do I in any way do justice to Imad is just by listening, really listening, and letting that listening do something inside you. I think that was it, just letting go.
I think every character that you play adds an intellectual layer to your head in case whatever you want to take away from the character. And probably that's why everyone's striving to do work that's relevant, that makes sense to everyone. So it probably all got to do with enriching your soul and intellect. That's what the idea is, right? To be better human beings, like we're trying to be better actors, like he asked.
I think I would say कि थोड़ा काम ज़्यादा हो गया है करने के बाद इमरान प्ले करने के बाद आई थिंक फॉर मी इट वाज काइंड ऑफ कैथार्टिक इन अ सेंस मतलब बहुत सारी चीज़ें आसपास से भरे जा रही हैं एंड जब आप बोल देते हो वो तो इट फील्स लाइक के निकल गया सो फॉर मी इट वाज काइंड ऑफ कैथार्टिक उसकी वजह से मैं काफ़ी काम हो गया हूँ और ज़्यादा रिलैक्स हो गया कि आराम से ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेने का है, आराम आराम से आगे बढ़ने का है.
ये बंदा ठीक चल रहा है लाइफ में.
Yeah, he seems very sorted.
गुड होनी चाहिए. ये मेरा बड़ा सिंपल रूल है. प्रेशर नहीं लेने का है. जी.
For me, like, I think the way he's like chill, because I'm not chill. Because when you like, because when you just starting your career, you know, आप बहुत कोशिश के बाद कहीं पहुंचे हो, you just आप एक step आगे रखने में भी you thinking multiple time, and you're not moving forward, you just stuck there. So like मैं character से मैंने जो सीखा या जो मैं लेके गया कि हाँ you can like chill, relax, थोड़ा सा free. That's what I'm like taking.
Zishan भाई ने सबसे पहले बोला ना, don't overthink things.
चलते जाने का भाई बहुत मौज आएगी यार.
यही चीज मैंने कैरेक्टर से लिया है.
Adarsh?
I think playing Jugnu just helped me be more sensitive and more aware of everything, and particularly helped me think about my relationship with my parents, my family. And I think that's also natural, right? Like when you read a story or a script, you often draw a parallel to your own life from it. And it made me feel thankful that I have a father who understands me and who supports me. And I have a mother that I can speak to. Not to say that, you know, it's like I'm the perfect child in reality. Of course, there's always that. But and also like I have close friends who are not my friends because they're forced to be my friends.
Right.
So yeah,
That's pretty rich, huh?
I think it just made me feel thankful for who I am and where I come from, and to have people around me who understand me.
Is there a specific role that you didn't get that you really, really wanted?
Oh yeah, Fursat, Ishan did no. Yeah, I had to dance. उसमें गोड़ दिया. फिर सब सीन तो अच्छा किया था, उसके बाद डांस करना था. अरे यार. But now I've learned. After that rejection, I learned. I went to do those dance classes. And
But this is about something that got made and
Possibly,
you
or
didn't-
is getting made, but
or
you
something
didn't.
that's not getting made at all.
In which case, I suppose it feels less bad about losing it.
I have never
Yeah.
felt like that about any role. Fortunately, everything that I've turned down has turned out to be really bad, to be honest with you. Nothing I regret.
Yeah, that's very satisfying. No?
Right. I can't think of any right now. Shit.
When films that you said no to are releasing,
Yeah.
that day is like, okay, now you go to the theater in the morning.
Please be bad.
Is this the right thing or
Please
not?
be awful.
There are two like that for me.
Yeah.
One, Adarsh has just done that film, Malegaon Ka Superman.
Oh.
And there was a part in it which I really wanted to do. And Varun had written the script and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I'm still feeling it right now. But yeah, that and more interesting, there's a friend of mine, director Sudhanshu Saria, who made Love.
That's
and,
right. He's made a
just
film called Ulaj.
Sana.
Sana,
Yeah. So he sent me the script of Sana and he said, and he was my senior in school, incidentally, and we met after many, many years. He called me and said, we should do something. This is not the part I would ever cast you for, but try it anyway. See what happens. Read the script and where it was a... I don't know
How
if I can-
cruel is that?
Yeah. He's cruel. He didn't take me. But and then he met one day and said, I don't want to meet you. I want to meet Akash. Like, this is stuff people you hear of saying. You know, मुझे तो राज सामने चाहिए. मेरे को राज देखना है. I go, okay, ये है, सही है वगैरह. And then there was a term he used for that guy, the kind of guy he is. I can't say it over here. Because,
No, go on.
Yeah,
This is going on the internet.
Oh, geez, okay, he says a fuck boy. Okay. I didn't
That's
know.
not that bad. I expected more from you.
Yeah, for me that was huge. I didn't know what a fuckboy was. So I went to my women friends, asked them, what is it, yaar? Why do you guys go to these people? What's the scene? Why do you cry after that? Why do you keep returning their messages?
Yeah, tell us more about that conversation.
Why do you like what they dress, What do they wear? Take me shopping. So this girl took me shopping and stuff, and then... and we did a 13-minute take at the casting office, and it was lovely, and the guy was supposed to play a guitar. I said, no, I want to play a harmonium because, and then he calls me 2 days later, he's like,
Fuckboys don't play.
No. He said the character is going to play harmonium, but I saw your audition and it was I'm stuck now because I know it has to be a younger guy.
So he took the harmonium and didn't give you the part.
No. And I've been messaging him since then. I've done 2 things since then, but I'm just stuck on that film. I keep,
What is this film?
How is it? Sana.
Okay, okay.
How is it? Kaisi hai? Achhi hai kya? Show me one. I'm still thinking about it. So clearly I'm affected by both of those things. Yeah.
For me, there are very few women characters has been like written in a very layered way, and but there are many men characters.
Nice.
They really fascinate me, and I feel like I would really want to play them. Like maybe Rana, or maybe Suvinder Vicky or his character, or his character.
I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
आपकी job नहीं जा रही.
But that's what I'm saying. There are some men characters are written so beautifully.
Yeah.
I feel, I wish they write more women characters.
But
like
that's
that.
true actually. Women characters, especially in India, are not written as well as the.
But we're getting
Very,
there.
very
I
good.
feel
I
we're
was going to
getting
ask,
there.
is that not changing?
No, it's
It is, but
changing
it is-
drastically, and I'm very happy about it. It is changing.
And there is a deliberate attempt, I feel, amongst a lot of good filmmakers that they really want to write the female characters better.
The men writers also.
The
no?
men
Men
writers
writers
do.
also.
Yeah.
But if you calculate everything, how many films or how many series we do,
agree,
and if you look at it, the ratio of women strong,
Yeah.
like layered characters
Right.
are less.
Very, very little.
Like, if you like 1 to 10, then we
Right.
are just 2.
Right, absolutely, I agree.
So
That's what I started
I think
with.
that has to go on the.
Hopefully it'll get better.
It is.
It
It's
is getting there.
exciting.
Like
Without
I
trying to
can
be
see
patronizing.
progress for sure.
Yeah.
Zishan, any role you really wanted? But आप संत आदमी हैं, मतलब
नहीं, मैं सही बताऊं आपको, वो तो छोड़ दीजिए कि किसी और का। आधी तो लड़ाई ये चल रही है कि जो काम कर चुके हैं उसमें कितना कट गया है, उसे कैसे बचा लो। आई थिंक वो ज्यादा रिग्रेट होते हैं कि यार ये जैसा करा था,
कौन सा कटा था?
वो आ जाता सामने, यार थोड़ा सा ना कुछ और हासिल हो सकता था, कुछ और हो सकता था। आई थिंक वो स्ट्रगल ज्यादा बड़ा है जो निकल गया हाथ से।
जी,
बात ये है कि नहीं, उससे जितना बच के रहो उतना बेटर है। प्लस वो काम अगर अच्छा भी हुआ, मतलब ऑब्वियसली देयर वर अ फ्यू कैरेक्टर्स लगा कि यार ये ना बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग कैरेक्टर है, ये अगर करते तो मजा आता, बट
yeah,
मेनी रीजंस कि भाई नहीं हो पाया।
Sure.
वो भी है। देख के अगर अच्छा लगा ना, देन आई एम ऑलवेज लाइक कि यार सही हुआ मैंने नहीं किया।
right,
क्योंकि मेरा बहुत साफ मानना है कि सब कोई भी कैरेक्टर ना वो सारी चीजों के साथ मिल के वर्क करता है। इट्स लाइक कि इट्स नॉट जस्ट द राइटिंग, जैसे आपने शुरुआत में इंट्रोड्यूस करते में कहा है, इट्स नॉट जस्ट द वर्ड्स, दे आर जस्ट वर्ड्स।
words.
कोई एक एक्टर अपना पर्सपेक्टिव लेके आता है, दैट इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ आर्ट। कि हर आदमी के अपने लाइफ के एक्सपीरियंसेस अलग हैं, दे विल गेट दैट एक्सपीरियंस, दे विल merge them with those words, and then something else will be in front of you. तो आई थिंक वो एक खूबसूरती, तो कुछ अगर अच्छा दिखता है तो मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि यार अच्छा हुआ मैंने नहीं किया, ये बहुत बढ़िया किया इसने। और खराब होता है तो लगता है कि यार इतना खराब करता मैं क्या ये बेटर हो सकता था। आई थिंक इट्स मोर इन दैट जोन। पर मेरे अभी मेन स्ट्रगल सर वो है, अपना कुछ यार कटे ना। ये तो मेरी वो लड़ाई
पर कितनी खूबसूरत चीज है ना ये, कि आप जब किसी का परफॉर्मेंस देखते हो, एंड आई मैं हमें बहुत बार ऐसे जस्ट एनालाइज करती हूँ कि अच्छा मैं किस तरह से इस चीज को देखूंगी, मैं क्या उसमें न्यूआंसेस ला सकती हूँ। दिस न्यूआंस इज सो गुड। जैसे ये कह रहा है कि मैं जोरम देखी एंड आई वाज सो ब्लोन अवे बाय हिज परफॉर्मेंस, इट वाज सो गुड। और मुझे वो जो साइलेंसेस थे, जो उसके जो ट्रांजिशन था, वो बहुत ही कमाल था। और मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये क्या सोचा होगा उसने आज, ये कैसे किया होगा उसने, और कितना पास गया है वो इसके। तो या मतलब
Beauty of art.
There have been so many times like that where I feel like I wish I got that part. But again, I think one of you all said that when you eventually see that performer performing, you're in such awe of that performance. You're just like, wow, man, I'm so glad that this guy got to do this, because maybe that was just written for that person to play it. I remember when I was very young, when I was 14, I had auditioned for Life of Pi. And for Pi Patel's character.
Even I had auditioned.
auditioned
मुझे
for
भी नहीं मिला. Yeah, we found that out.
At that point in time, I really wanted to play Pi, and I didn't have I don't think I had the maturity to understand why I didn't get it, but now of course I do. I'm like, okay, man, there's so many reasons. I was too inexperienced, I was too young. Although I'd read the book before I'd auditioned for it.
wow.
So I exactly knew Pai's journey also.
Right.
But eventually when I saw the film and I saw Suraj, I felt like this is such a great performance. And of course there is that envy and, you know, it's a natural thing
Correct.
for a human to feel that. And I felt like I wish I could have gotten to work with Ang Lee and I wish I could have been on that boat with the tiger. But yeah, I feel like it happens to me so many times, and Life of Pi is one
One of those examples. You know, to all of you, when you get a script, are you ever afraid that you won't be able to deliver?
Most of the time.
Wow.
Most of the time.
Quite unanimous. That
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Most of the times.
Sorted with this question then?
That was the quickest one, right? But I mean, I want to try to understand why. Is it a crisis of confidence in that moment? Are you
It's
overwhelmed?
the first time a new human being is coming to you,
Right.
who's so much more different than what you are or what you've played in your previous body of work. So just understanding is the fear first. You get this guy fully or not. And I think in a show it gets harder because there's a much longer thread of emotion to stick by.
Right.
You have to like the guy, you have to hate the guy. I mean, it's a longer journey. Film has a plot functionality.
Yeah.
It's like I have to get there at this time and do this. That's a different way of watching people. But I think, yeah, it comes from how quickly can I understand this guy and am I portraying this right or is he just looking like me in another form? So I think that's where the fear comes from.
Anyone else?
Isn't the process of OTT and film and the emotions are same
No, just
before performing?
I mean, it's a
just want
shorter
to know.
period of time.
Yeah.
It's lesser things and lesser people that you have to deal with in a film.
Yeah, the long format storytelling is a
You
little
just
more
have
complex.
many more people that you're dealing with. So parts of you that in film can be hidden and don't have to be exposed for that story can be hidden. But in a show that can't happen.
That can't happen.
You have to get them out fully.
Yeah.
But fear is the same again.
Yeah. that's
Fear
what-
is the
that's
exact
what
same thing.
I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
The fear is
yeah,
the same,
exact
right?
same thing.
Rajeev, fear?
Yeah, I feel that trust, someone has trusted you,
Yeah.
someone has given you that part, you know, like after so many auditions or whatever it is, someone, one person in that whole team say that, no, wo chahiye.
Right.
बहुत बड़ी बात होती है, and especially when you come from nowhere, you know, you're constantly auditioning and constantly trying to do better, और you know, एक छोटा part कर लिया, फिर थोड़ा सा एक दो और scene बढ़ जाते हैं, फिर 2 scene बढ़ गए तो ठीक लगा तो 4 scene बढ़ जाते हैं. ऐसी journey से आप आते हो ना तो थोड़ा nervousness तो तभी रहता है. So trial by fire के लिए I feel, you know, I'm really glad to like Netflix, who has given me that platform. Prashant Nair, Sanjeev Moria, the casting director, they trusted me, they auditioned me, you know, and given me a part which, मतलब आज भी हम बहुत सारी चीज़ों से deal करते हैं जहाँ पे how many followers you have to, you know, how much popular you are, to, you know, what star you are and all that thing. And in इस सब के बाद जब आपको कोई चुनता है तो वो बहुत बड़ी बात है. तो वो नर्वसनेस थी मेरे पास बहुत ज़्यादा कि whether I'll be able to do it or not. बाल कट के थे, वजन बढ़ा दिया था, मुझे लगा अब होगा या नहीं होगा, प्लीज़ होना चाहिए ही अभी.
But is that, I mean, to all of you, is that nervous energy what becomes the fuel?
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're not nervous, that means something's wrong.
Yes.
So none of you have gone in saying, I'm gonna nail this. Like I can. This.
Yeah, at the very bottom of your heart, maybe.
Right.
But not like it's a very healthy process. I think we're talking about a lot of bigger aspects, and at a very basic level, I think humans fear the unknown.
Yes.
That's why we are scared of the dark.
Right.
And it fills you up with anxiety when you don't know the future.
Yeah.
I think it's a healthy process. I think that's what's common with
हाँ,
it.
मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है honestly कि it's I think fear is not the right word.
Right.
Is what I believe.
Yeah.
I think it's
Nervous?
that kind of nervousness, and basically what it does for me, and I hope for most of the actors, it makes you vulnerable.
Right.
And that is, according to me, वो सबसे better state है for an actor to start performing. Because otherwise आप अपने ही एक ego को play करने लग जाते हैं जो आपको पिछले कामों से मिली है और लोगों के आसपास से मिली है और समाज से मिली है, एंड यू स्टार्ट प्लेइंग दैट, एंड जो हम लोग मतलब स्टार्स के साथ जो एक जनरल प्रॉब्लम एक फेस करना हम शुरू करते हैं कि आफ्टर अ पॉइंट मोस्ट ऑफ नॉट ऑल ऑफ देम बट मोस्ट ऑफ देम की सेम यार को अब रिपीट करना, बिकॉज आपने उसको हटा के कि नहीं नहीं यार ये तो ऐसे करेंगे तो इट विल बी वेरी गुड, तो आप अपनी एक ईगो बना के एक आइडिया, maybe when you are performing something, maybe when I was performing Imran, मुझे नहीं पता था कि मुझे अभी भी नहीं पता कि उसमें क्या वर्क किया है जो लोगों को कनेक्ट हुआ. आई थिंक वो वल्नरेबल होना इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, एंड प्लस मैं अगर अपने तौर पे बोलूँ, व्हाट आई ट्राई के जब मैं पढ़ता हूँ आई गेट सम काइंड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस व्हाइल रीडिंग दोज लाइंस जो मेरे कैरेक्टर ने बोली है. व्हाट आई ट्राई के ये सेम एक्सपीरियंस क्या मैं ऑडियंस को पहुंचा सकता हूँ. एंड आई थिंक वो वल्नरेबिलिटी, और आप उसको फियर बोलें या नर्वसनेस व्हाटएवर वी वांट टू कॉल इट, वो इस बात की ज्यादा होती है कि यार ये पहुंचेगा या नहीं पहुंचेगा. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि मैं अपने ककून के अंदर परफॉर्म करके ये खत्म हो जाए, या फिर मैं ओवर सेल कर दूं और लोग बोलेंगे यार हमें ना इसको सुनना नहीं है. आई थिंक टू क्रिएट दैट बैलेंस इज व्हाट आई फील के इट ऑलवेज मेक्स मी वल्नरेबल बिफोर गेटिंग इनटू एनी सीन, एक्चुअली एवरी सीन. इट्स नॉट लाइक के वो कम होती जाती है, बट बिफोर एवरी सीन आई फील दैट वल्नरेबल के ये सीन होगा नहीं होगा. एंड अगर मैं जूते पहने होता हूँ, जैसे मुझे पता है कि वो अंदर मेरी उंगलियां ना ऐसे दबी हुई होती है, इट माइट फील लाइक क्या बड़ा रिलैक्स खड़ा है.
You're talking about कि anxious of pursuing excellence is what you're talking about. कि you said कि क्या कहते हैं oversell. So that's excellence actually what you're pursuing.
Yeah, I'm trying for that. I think all of us are pursuing
nervous
from
है
that.
Also, I feel
delivery नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Also, I feel an actor is already nervous before the shot.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the director. You know, like for me, Hansal sir was so chilled out.
Right.
Like I used to ask him few, you know, like help, like how do you want me to perform this in Jagruti Pathak, and what is the scale you want? In Gujarati, tu kari le se. You'll just do it. So that used to make me more nervous that he's just left it on me.
Right.
And there are few directors who want it exactly
Specifically.
specifically. That also makes me nervous. You know what I mean? So it's
No, you've worked so much. I mean, is there still?
Am I the oldest guy in this group? It's so weird.
I think I'm older than you.
Last time I came to Bombay, I was the youngest guy in the group.
No, but you have worked. You've made a lot of films. I mean, do you relate to this this sort of fear or this sort of
100%.
crisis of confidence?
See, when you're trying to do something that you haven't done before,
Yeah.
that'll start. I mean, whether it's fear, nervousness, somewhere in between,
Yeah.
it'll be there. It gets harder when you're trying to play a part that doesn't look like you at all, or you need a drastic. And it happened once for me a lot when I was supposed to play Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. Now, he was the chief minister of this previous chief minister of the state.
Right.
I was off Bahubali.
Yeah.
I was just 3 times this size.
I was just
That
going to say,
man
like,
was a
looking like
lean-
that. Yeah.
Lean man in his young. So I didn't even know why the director kept insisting. I said, I don't even look like him. Why this, right? There's a certain fear, which will start when it's not the kind. But there's another strange fear that I had on a show. We have multiple directors.
Right.
So for me, all my life, I'm just used to one guy telling me one
One
character,
voice, yeah.
and that's all I know. And I had Karan, who I started with, and then have you met Supan Varma?
Yes.
They're just 2 different people.
Right.
One guy is crafty, he's slow, very, very detailed, extremely nuanced. Supan, you don't even know when the shot's done. You start acting, I was like, dude, I didn't start acting. You're like, but it's okay, it works. I'm like, so it's a different energy.
Yeah.
So that took me some time. I'm like, okay, now, how do you pay attention to different types of people?
And on the same project. Yeah.
On the same project, if
Same
not
character,
maybe the
yeah.
same day.
That is a little tricky. Yeah.
So that was a bit tricky for me in the beginning.
welcome to OTT.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's now we have 3 or something in the
I
new
have,
one.
like to add this, and I could totally understand that it's the same coin, 2 sides, fear,
Yeah.
excitement, nervousness and excitement. And after doing more and more work or the same play 50 times, you know when to flip it or when it's flipped.
Yeah.
But I think I've just started to think about me in general, personally. I think मैं काफ़ी डरपोक इंसान हूँ in general, and I mean it. It's like बचपन से I think when I look back मुझे सिखाया था ये मत करो वरना वो हो जाएगा. This very safe, be safe, middle class, small town.
Yeah.
Be safe. उधर मत जाओ, उधर कुत्ते हैं. उधर मत जाओ, उधर ये होता है. रात को मत जाओ. So just at the culture of fear that you grow up in, and I feel like every time I'm presented with a choice, my first instinct is to run away. Whether it's to change a school, whether it's to ask a taxi driver कि यहाँ नहीं वहाँ रोक दोगे क्या जरा सा, मुझे उसमें भी डर लग जाता है. मुझे लगता है पता नहीं मुझे क्यों डर लग रहा है, लेकिन वो लग रहा होता है. But as far as performances are concerned, I know the larger fear is of that, of me wanting to run away. But I guess you do it and do it and do it, and the किसी को अच्छा लगेगा वो एक्साइटमेंट भी तो है ना यार, वो आके बोलेगा तू अच्छा करता है यार, मजा आ गया, वो कॉइन फ्लिप कर देता है somewhere.
But I have to say, you were fab in Monica, oh my darling. You were fab.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, Rajshri, you said that after Sacred Games, you left Mumbai for a while because people were only coming to you for bold roles with intimate scenes. You know, it's one thing, and it's hard enough to find work when your show or your film is not a hit. But I would imagine it's more frustrating when you're coming off a hit project and people have liked your work, but they only want to give you the same kind of work over and over again. Zishan, did you experience that yourself? Because I would imagine after Ranjana, there were a lot of those best friend roles that kept coming. How does one, I mean, first of all, it's sad enough that in 2023, stereotyping still, we haven't been able to completely break out of that. But how does one, as an actor, what is the advice you'd give to other younger actors? How do you try not to get stuffed into that box? What did you all do?
नहीं, जो आपने सवाल पूछा था, मैं अगर उधर जाऊं तो बहुत ज़्यादा फेस करना पड़ा, for sure. जिसमें जब आप शुरू में बोल रहे थे ना, एक्चुअली वही है, जब चलेगा तभी आपके पीछे पड़ते हैं.
Right.
और अजीब सी चीज़ ये है कि मैं कुछ मेरे ख्याल से 35 से 40 प्रोजेक्ट हो गए हैं सब मिला के, OTT फिल्म्स वगैरह मिला के. मैंने 6 बार सिर्फ हीरो का दोस्त किया है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली उनमें से 4 जो हैं वो हिट हो गए. 2 सुपर फ्लॉप भी हैं. लेकिन अब वो ठप्पा जो है वो लग गया. और रांझना के बाद डेफिनेटली पीपल वर लाइक, अरे यार बहुत अच्छा कैरेक्टर है, आपने करा नहीं है ऐसा कैरेक्टर. अच्छा क्या है? तो ये बंदा है जिसका टारगेट है कि उसको बहुत बड़ा सिंगर बनना है. तो मैंने कहा अच्छा ये मेरा कैरेक्टर नहीं, आपका कैरेक्टर है, उसके साथ एक बंदा है जिसका सपना है कि ये आदमी बहुत बड़ा सिंगर बनना है. साहब बॉलीवुड. सो आई थिंक ये एक शुरुआती, अच्छा शुरुआत में जैसे वही जो इन्होंने बताया, वो ताबीज बेचने वाले यहाँ भी बहुत घूमते हैं ना इंडस्ट्री में कि अरे ये ताबीज पहन लो, ऊपर वाला ये करवा देगा. तो बात ये आप ताबीज नहीं खरीदते, तो वो उनसे बच के रहना चाहिए. मैंने भी शुरू में बोला था कि हीरो का दोस्त नहीं करना, वरना करियर खत्म है. ऑनेस्टली आई टुक इट अप एज अ चैलेंज.
Right.
जैसा मैंने बताया कि मैंने कहा, ऐसा क्या हो जाएगा, देखते हैं. करा, वो चल गया. दूसरा भी अगला आया, जन्नत 2 आई मेरे ब्रदर की दुल्हन के बाद. उसमें भी मैंने बोला कि यार एक सीन अच्छा है उसका, एंड का जो सुसाइड वाला सीन है, दैट इज अ वेरी गुड सीन, आई वुड लव टू डू दैट सीन, कर लेते. फिर रांझना आ गई तो लोगों ने बोला भाई तू अपना पैक कर और घर निकल जा, कोई मतलब है नहीं तेरा यहाँ रहने का. इट वर्कड. अब लोगों ने बोला यार लेकिन ये अब अच्छा टाइम है, अब तू पैसा छाप, अब तू ये कर. आई वाज लाइक कि नहीं यार दोबारा इनसे ताबीज नहीं खरीदे, अपनी लाइफ में अपने हिसाब से चलना है. इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट. मतलब अगर मैं नए लोगों के उसमें बोलूँगा, आई नो स्टीरियोटाइपिंग सभी लोग फेस कहीं ना कहीं करते ही हैं, बट आई थिंक इट इज अबाउट योर चॉइस कि आपको करना क्या है.
Right.
आपको बार बार आएगा, आपको मना करना पड़ेगा, पैसा, भारी पैसा. मतलब मैं उसी टाइम पे जब कोई एक कायदे का रोल जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ, मैं जब कर रहा था, उसके लिए मे बी 35-40% ही पैसा मिल रहा है आपको, जो आपको एक हीरो के दोस्त वाले में ऑफर हो रहा है. प्रॉब्लम इज कि आपने ये किया, आपने मेहनत करी, कुछ करके आप वहां पे कहीं पहुंचे. लाइक आई वुड जस्ट टेक एन एग्जांपल, वो आर्टिकल 15 के साथ 2 सीन थे. आई वाज लाइक मुझे ये करना है. आई डिड दोस 2 सीन्स, इट वर्कड जो भी. अब उसके बाद मैं राइचस आदमी प्ले करके थक गया. हर बार कह रहे सर एक आदमी है जो प्रिंसिपल्स पे खा रहा है,
जिशान को कास्ट है.
इवन स्कूप तक. तो आई थिंक अब दोबारा एक वो वाला वक्त आया मेरा कि बस अब मुझे अच्छा आदमी नहीं बनना, अब मुझे
कमीना बना दो.
अब नेगेटिव बना
अरे मैं मरा जा रहा हूँ कि कोई मुझे नेगेटिव कैरेक्टर दे. मैं दिल्ली का हूँ.
Get yourself, यार Zishan.
नेगेटिव दो.
Rana, you probably had the opposite problem. Tell me what happened after Bhalal there.
So I had 7 war films. I think. It happens after everything, right? So
Yeah.
always the industry will want where you're at.
Yeah.
as opposed to where you want to be. And that will always be a problem. It's not going to be with any volume of work. And it'll keep consistently coming. All you have to do is just find that filmmaker, back the story that you want to tell.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it's an experienced filmmaker, doesn't matter if it's a first timer. If you can cross that hurdle, then I think life is very smooth and you take it story on story. Then you'll just keep getting stuff that's new only.
And I feel, there is someone somewhere will trust you if you just keep doing your work.
Right.
Keep, learning, keep believing in yourself. So I think कोई ना कोई तो आप पे भरोसा कर ही लेगा.
कहीं ना कहीं इट्स अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट ऑल्सो ना कि आपकी कोई चीज अच्छी लगी किसी को तो वो आपको बोल रहे हैं और करो ना यार और करो ना फिर से करो ना हमको अच्छा लगा तो और अगर बाय चांस जो आपने किया था वो कुछ ऐसा किरदार था जो थोड़ा सा आउट ऑफ द ऑर्डिनरी है इन टर्म्स ऑफ राइटिंग तो आई वुड टेक इट एज अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट कि वो शायद मुझे यही सोच रहे हैं कि यार ये वाला कैरेक्टर ना ये कर सकता है ये वाला कैरेक्टर फिर आपके ऊपर है कि क्या आप उसको अपने पिछले वाले से अलग इंसान की तरह देख सकते हो और बना सकते हो और जो बनाना चाह रहा है उसका विजन क्या है वो कुछ अलग बना देगा क्या इसको सो बट यू हैव टू वेट एंड लाइक यू सेड वो एंड इट मे नॉट हैपन सो
I thought you were saying something.
Yeah, every time I feel like I don't get a part, I understand, okay, this is why I didn't get the part. And then I try to get that inside of me, whether it's a skill or a quality or whatever. And I feel like I really enjoy being a student. So every time I don't get something, I'll try to learn that. And I enjoy being a student. I wish I was getting paid for just to be a student. Like I'm getting paid to be an actor. And I feel like that is the greater purpose of me being an actor is to constantly keep like learning these little things that I am not.
Right.
So because the idea of new excites me, that novelty of like not knowing a particular skill or just for an example, like when White Tiger happened and I got an agency in America to represent me. The first thing my director of White Tiger, Ramin, told me was that you need to learn the American accent and the British accent because you'll be competing with people
Who can
do
speak
that, and they are people from Brooklyn, like an Indian from Brooklyn will be
Much more
basically
fluent,
auditioning for the same character. And he can also speak in Hindi, and obviously he can do the American accent. So then it was the idea of that, of just getting to learn a new accent. And initially it starts off as a motivation to, हाँ मैं ये करूँगा, कि नया चीज करूँगा, but then you start enjoying that because it's something that you don't have. So I think it's the idea of just being a student. And I wish sometimes that you would also get paid just to be a student, even though you don't get the
you
part.
have to pay to be a student also. No?
every skill has to be
Like in drama school, for example.
So I would imagine Swail and Bubble, y'all are really young in that stereotyping thing. But since y'all have been in projects that have worked and characters that have been accepted, are you seeing that happen? Are you seeing that people want you to do the same thing over and over again?
No. Yeah.
Not for you.
So I'm getting.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. Sometimes like friend kind of thing. Sometimes it's like script is not good, but sometimes it's like same kind of a character, same Haryanvi kind of a guy. That's why I'm waiting कि कुछ I'll wait. It's okay. But like हाँ कि same नहीं करना है because I don't want to play same kind of a character. But like
Again.
फिर वही hero का दोस्त getting this. Sometimes I'm like oh, thank you I can't.
But sir, I'm hearing this question of being typecasted since years
True.
now.
It's an age-old problem.
It's still not changing. Like from my era to Babil's era, it's still not changing. Like you asked me also the same question, and he also is feeling the same way. As in, Sivail is feeling the same way. He's just started his career. And he's also feeling that people are typecasting. So I don't know when will this change, that if she's done a particular character or if I've done a particular character, we are seen in that particular range only.
Well, why I would imagine that's why there are visionary makers, right? Who will see the talent and say, what I need from this person is their talent, not their ability to do that part again. And that's why she gets a trial by fire after Sacred Games.
No, but that's what, like, even after Sacred Games, as I didn't do anything for 2 years, I did Fame Game, where I played a cop.
Correct.
And Then I did Trial by Fire,
Yeah.
where I played this. So I feel that's what, like, there are people who
It needs
see
someone to.
yeah,
like
and then-
Hansal sir,
Yeah.
he saw the opposite of what people have seen in me.
Correct.
You know, so you need those visionary directors.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to learn to say no. You have to understand what your priorities
Correct.
in life, and it's okay. Matlab, if you're not part of it, what will you lose?
Right.
You know, what will you gain then?
Yeah.
You have to decide that.
Yeah.
But the state of, typecasting, it comes from the same thing as Supti bhai said, that, the fear of unknown. We're unwilling to try something new
Correct.
because we're so
There
scared
is a
of
safety in
Yeah.
in knowing that this person will do this well. People will like to see them doing that thing again.
Yeah.
And let's go for that.
And also the argument, like I think it's a very long shot for a person like me to sit and wait. Someone's going to spot me someday. I have to put it out there.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
display,
that
to be
too.
honest with you, stereotypes have to be strong-armed, is what I feel.
Yeah.
I think the greatest actors and directors, they only look like they know what they're doing, but actually they have no idea what they're doing. And I think that's where the magic happens, when you don't know what is going to happen, but you've done your preparation, prepared your body, and then you just let go into the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And that's where something new happens.
Yeah. But you know, as he just mentioned, कि ऐसा कहा था कि, you know, if you're playing a cop character,
Yeah.
if you're playing in 5 different project cop character, but all 5 people are different.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many camera person over there, but everyone looks different, sees us in different way, wears different clothes, talk to us in different ways.
Correct.
So we have to kind of pick up 5 different people, their mannerisms, their behavioral pattern, their psychology, their
So you're saying
physical
even on the
spaces.
page, if it's the same character, it's for you as an actor to bring.
You who have to push like somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That फिर वही है ना, वो collaborative space कब आएगा?
I want to end on a light note. I want to ask you, when fans run into you at the mall or at a restaurant, typically what are they likely to remember you from, and what are they likely to say to you?
Rana.
What are they likely to say to me? See, first they think I've become like lean. They're like, why are you so thin? Like, dude, I'm twice your size, but thin, but it still works. But so yeah, it's their first reference of what they have, which film that stuck to them the most.
And that's always Bahubali in your case?
Probably in Rana Naidu. I think these are the two in the recent round. Because,
Right.
again, I haven't done anything much in the last 5 years, except these two things. but yeah, I think, see, it's also somewhere they're coming there because of the fondness. They start to realize who you are. They know, and you have a sense of, okay, my job's really working. But I think it's fun. It's fun. It's fun when you're recognized and you know that your work's validated.
Because I've done TV, they connect with me, with my characters I've played. Say if I've done like a dance show, if I've done a reality show where I've played really well. So they're like, meri beti bhi aapki tarah banna chahti. So when they, like make it personal, you feel very good, and you feel, as he said, that you feel validated, that you've done something good. And the most compliments I get is like, आप screen पे मोटी लगते हो, real life में पतले हो, and that kind of troubles me a lot, But overall, it's a good feeling to be recognized, and you get the love from your audience, and then you feel that you want to do more for them. So yeah.
Just to add to that, it's also interesting when you go different places.
Yeah.
They'll recognize you for different things.
Yeah.
And then that kind of sets a tone with what culture it is, where
Correct.
who's following what cinema in some ways.
Yeah.
Somewhere nobody recognizes you, like, ये लोग कुछ भी नहीं देखते हैं यार.
ये मेरी गलती नहीं, इनकी गलती है.
मैं देख रहा था कोई देख नहीं रहा है क्या?
Maybe then you start thinking that's some Monica.
Is it typically Monica in your case?
No, some people have seen that Salman Khan ka video I had done years back for some viral fever.
Bro, but that video is so epic. Epic video.
Salman. No, definitely not me. But like, I was telling my wife, there was a time and I was saying that I can see people are seeing, they want to ask, कौन से में देखा है, किस में देखा है, नाम बताओ.
They sort of know you from
best,
something.
That is the best.
Photo चाहिए, but
Yeah.
कहाँ काम किया आपने?
Yeah,
यानी मैं
honestly,
बताऊं.
you're very good and I loved you in that, this, but I said I want them to know my name.
Yeah.
I want somebody to come and say, Sukant.
As if you don't know.
Yeah. So it happened, and sometimes, and more in Kala Pani, somebody, some people are coming saying, "Can I hug you, Chiru?" So I just hug them. I'm surprised, and it's nice. Yeah.
Bro?
I think the audiences have changed. I've been around for a while now.
Yeah.
I've not done a lot of work, but I've been around for a while. The audiences, the people who watch, especially whoever watches or likes my work, different things. Like Anna was saying, different things are stimulate different emotions for different people. Like Kohra, when Kohra happened, people remember me from my television shows Pyar Ko Gaana Do a lot. And when like Asur happened, so people want to talk to you about, oh, that was a very good angle about the AI. Now they want to bring out their own intellectual side. Of it.
Right. So they'll talk.
They talk about Kohra. They talk about Kohra was the first time actually. It was a little different because people wanted to talk to you at length about this show. Everyone, I don't know. People would just grab hold of me in the airport and like, please come in the corner.
Right.
Let's discuss that.
That's
aspect."
lovely, right? It
And
meant something to them.
It does. Yeah. So yeah, it feels good. It feels better now. I feel like the kind of stuff I'm picking up, it's reaching out a wider audiences, and it's influencing the intellect of the society. So that's a good thing, is what I feel.
Yeah.
Rajshri?
मुझे कोई पहचानता ही नहीं
I find that hard to
Yeah.
believe.
No, but seriously, like maybe because I look very different
From the characters,
in
yeah.
life and तो बहुत लोगों को पता ही नहीं कि मैं एक्टर हूँ करके. मेरे गांव में तो बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं है. उनको लगता है ये सोशल वर्कर है, आती है दीदी काम करती है और गांव में चली जाती है. So I'm happy with that.
Sure.
Though there is a little space, I also feel कि अरे देखो ना कुछ तो काम अच्छा देखो. तो but ठीक है, मतलब मुझे लगता है कि because of that,
Yeah.
I can be in public spaces where I can learn so much, I can observe so much, और खुशी से रह सकता है इंसान. But of course, validation from the industry because of Trial by Fire is really good.
Yeah.
Industry people have started recognizing me. My parents, my family, my relatives watching certain things, and they gave me validation. थोड़ा वो भी अच्छा लगता है.
Of course.
But yeah.
It's like our parents, hey, you are from.
I know. नहीं, but बहुत वक्त तो मेरे पेरेंट्स को लगता था क्या ही करती हो तुम.
Well, सबका ही वही है.
Yeah, sacred games में उनके रहने दो, तुम कुछ मत करो. Yeah, we go through that space. ठीक है, it's fun.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
है ना?
Your pain.
क्या किया इसने बल्ली की?
Yeah.
Do they come to you and pretty much say hi, Bali?
So, lot of time, before class, वैसे I'm not like used to attention, ठीक है? क्योंकि after class it was like कि you sitting in a restaurant and people are like, hey, Bali! Like they're hugging you and suddenly like, क्या चल रहा है? And they're abusing, like cussing and all. I'm like, dude, यार. And most of the time people are like, because I don't know, I played Balli, so they think, they don't...
You must be, but yeah, they
were like, hey, what's up, man? What's up, kind of thing. I'm like, dude.
Over familiar.
Yeah. And they were like,
But that also means you did a great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Because abhi
If you relate to you as the character,
Yeah,
it usually does mean that.
yeah. I started with like not getting respect like from a casting assistant to like getting like the respect from audience.
Yeah.
And then लोग तुम्हें इतना प्यार दे रहे हैं and then they're saying words and तो अभी मैं I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I'm just learning.
Well, you're just starting out.
Yeah.
Babel?
I am just trying to beat my own pap videos and my interviews. People come to me and they're like, oh, I know you. I'm like, which work, which film out of the 3? Which one did you like?
No, the crazy one from the pap
You're
video.
so humble. With the paps, you're so humble. I'm like, ये मैं कैसे मोड़ पे आ गया कि मैं अपनी humility से battle कर रहा हूँ. But yeah, I'm just trying to. But hopefully after Railwayman,
Humility से battle कर रहा हूँ. I like
after
this.
Railwayman, I hope things.
अगली बार मैं तुम्हारे साथ चलती हूँ क्योंकि पैप्स तो कोई मुझे पहचानता नहीं. बोला कि मैडम जरा पास चलो, सर आ रहे हैं. मैंने कहा कौन सर आ रहे हैं, देखो तो सही. मुझे अवार्ड मिल रहा है, मुझे कोई पूछ नहीं
That
रहा
happens to
है.
me when Ori comes as well. Is it that happens to me? Like suddenly I'm Pap favorite and then Ori comes, and then suddenly I am nobody.
Because you're
Like,
not,
bhai, hado yaar, hado.
yeah, because he's not working on himself. Take massage.
Adarsh, for you?
Uh, it's funny because I'm constantly torn between also wanting to be recognized, which is a very nice feeling.
Yeah.
But so I'm torn between being anonymous and wanting to be recognized. Yeah. Because I enjoy both of them so much.
Yeah.
Because when nobody knows me, I can just like stalk everybody and like
Yes.
be a spy and like do all those things. But then a part of me also craves attention. And then when I get that attention, I'm like, now I don't want this attention. Now I want to be anonymous. So it's
a weird sort of
constantly
dichotomy,
being torn between both these worlds. But I think again, as Rana was saying, that it depends on where you are, and it's only the last couple of years where I feel some of my work has come out, and so people have started recognizing. So it depends on where I am. Like usually, if I'm in a college or in that kind of a situation, it's hostel days, and then otherwise White Tiger or Guns and Gulabs. So depending on where I am, place. Yeah.
Zishan?
I think बड़ा mix सा एक
जीजन जैसे आंसर करने वाला सबकी एंटिसिपेशन बढ़ जाती है, बड़ा कुछ बोलने वाला
पता नहीं क्या बोला हाँ बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं आई थिंक व्हाट राणा वाज सेइंग ना एक लेवल पे ना एक सोसाइटी का एनालिसिस भी एक ज्यादा समझ में आना शुरू होता है यू आर लाइक ओ सो इस तरह के लोग को ये सोचने वाले लोगों ने ये वाला पार्ट ज्यादा देखा है सो देयर हैव बीन सो मेनी मतलब जैसे नोमनकिल जैसे का मुझे याद है कि खान मार्केट जैसे एरियाज में नोमनकिल जैसे का के बारे में लोग पहचान रहे हो यू आर दैट गाय सडनली वहां पे हमें लग रहा है कि यार हमने कुछ अचीव कर लिया रांझना आ गई है खान मार्केट में कोई देख नहीं रहा लेकिन आप उत्तर प्रदेश चले गए तो उत्तर प्रदेश में आदमी कह रहा है कि भैया मुरारी भैया तुम आ जाओ और ये हो रहा है देन देयर आर थिंग्स लाइक के गुजरात में एक मेरी फिल्म है ऑल इज वेल उसकी एक अलग फैन फॉलोइंग है आई डोंट नो हाउ बट है उस कैरेक्टर की देन आई थिंक स्कूप है अगेन सो it's like there are so many different people who like your work कि भाई अच्छा ये वाला कैरेक्टर भी पसंद है वो वाला कैरेक्टर भी पसंद है एंड मैं बस ये बोलूँगा कि उसमें ना एक मज़ा आई थिंक जो आदर्श भी बोल रहा है ना उसमें मज़ा भी आता है मतलब मैं तो कई बार ये शुरुआत में ये वाला खेल भी करता था कि बहुत अच्छा लगा किसी ने आके फोटो खिंचवाई फिर हल्का सा किसी के पास जाके यार इट्स टू मच यार बहुत परेशान करते हैं यार ये लोग यार प्राइवेसी नहीं रही है तो आई थिंक वो एक मजा आता है यू डोंट वांट दैट प्राइवेसी
आई थिंक आई नेवर सेड दैट इन माय लाइफ
एक हल्का सा ना किसी के पास जाके यार बहुत हो रहा है यार बैठ ही नहीं पा रहा यार कॉफी नहीं पी सकता सो आई थिंक ये एक्टर की सच्चाई यही है कि वो ना कभी उसे ना कोई भी चीज ना पूरा सेटिस्फाई नहीं करता जब उसके पास बहुत सारे लोग आएंगे तो एक पॉइंट के बाद ये वाला की होगा कह रहे यार प्लीज पीछे रहो अगर ये नहीं हो रहा होगा तो फिर आदमी बोलेगा यार इन लोगों ने देखा नहीं क्या तो हम बात कर आई थिंक ये एक बड़ा यही सबसे ज्यादा खूबसूरत पार्ट मुझे लगता है बीइंग अ फिल्म एक्टर होने का वरना आई थिंक थिएटर में ज्यादा मजा आता है एक्टर के तौर पे पर ये जो एक लाइफ में आपको उतार चढ़ाव यू हैव टू फेस ना आई थिंक ये गुदगुदी सी पेट में रखता है एंड यू कीप ऑन वर्किंग मोर नहीं हो रहा तो आप बोलते हैं यार आजकल बड़ी शांति है आई एम फीलिंग बेटर यार अभी आजकल ठीक है बट
it is a tough industry to make. It is. Irrespective of you, how successful you get or no, I'm not talking about that. It takes a toll on your faculties, I mean, mental health, you know, and your own confidence. It goes up and down in the validation of the whole world, kind of a thing.
I think वो एक बड़ा वो मुझे भी हमेशा लगता है आई थिंक ना वो एक इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट था जो हमें बात करनी चाहिए थी वैलिडेशन आई थिंक जो काफी सारी चीजें ना वो वरुण जो बोल रहे हैं उसमें कनेक्ट हो जाती है वी गेट ट्रैप्ड
absolutely
in that we want it but वो हम बार बार बोलते रहते हैं कि यार हमें वैलिडेशन नहीं चाहिए
right but actually you're hungry for it
but मेरा उसमें साफ कहना है कि ये सबसे बड़ा झूठ है कि वैलिडेशन नहीं चाहिए
you're a performing artist how can you not
आपको एंगेज करना ही है हो सकता है एक किसी पर्टिकुलर आदमी से
maybe Daniel Day-Lewis maybe the only human being in the world
आई एम श्योर अगर हम बात करेंगे तो चाहिए उनको भी
वो भी दैट्स ट्रू
आई एम श्योर जब उन्होंने स्पीलबर्ग के साथ काम किया होगा और मैं तो पूछा ही होगा कि इज इट ओके जब तक स्पीलबर्ग ये नहीं बोल देगा कि इट वाज अ वेरी गुड शॉट वी आर डन
बैंग ऑन
आई एम श्योर वो भी एक वैलिडेशन है ही हो सकता है मैं कुछ काम करके आऊं और उसमें मुझे लगा यार डायरेक्टर सही नहीं था और मैं काम करके निकल गया बट डेफिनेटली मे बी माय वाइफ मेरा जो एक्टिंग टीचर था उससे बात करके कि यार मैंने काम किया था
लगी हाँ बिल्कुल
एंड वो बोलेगा कि हाँ इट वाज वैलिडेशन चाहिए, किससे चाहिए may differ.
और कितनी डिग्री की भी चाहिए,
कितने
बहुत
डिग्री की भी
किसी
चाहिए,
को
हाँ,
नहीं।
मतलब जरूरी नहीं है कि आदमी बोलेगा साहब कमाल कर दिया,
वो जो
बट
उसको
हाँ
आके
आदमी बोलेगा यार
मार के गाली वाली देना शुरू कर दे, उतनी चाहिए.
हाँ उतनी की जरूरत है या नहीं.
और आप उस वैलिडेशन को किस तरह से लेते हो,
Right.
आपको बहुत अच्छा कहा जाएगा, कल शायद आपको काम नहीं मिलेगा.
And you have to learn to take all of it in your
Yeah, you have to learn to कि भाई कुछ भी हो सकता है यहाँ पर, just be ready, it's okay. आप अपना काम करते जाओ, अच्छा काम करो, किसी ने पहचाना, वाह, thank you so much. नहीं पहचाना, it's okay.
I think it's a brilliant closing argument.
Yeah, it is.
लाइफ में चिल
I aspire for this clarity. I hope it happens.
It is no one said it's not going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Totally.
Gentlemen, lovely ladies, thank you so much for this. This was incredible. Thank you for really being completely vulnerable and sort of letting us in on just how tricky this is and how, and it sort of it reinforces what I always believe, that actors are sort of contradictory creatures, and I think it's those complications and those contradictions that make you such incredible performers, because you're in that moment and able to become different people every day, which is actually pretty nuts, and you do it so beautifully. So thank you for opening your hearts. Thank you for these brilliant performances. We're looking forward to watching lots more of what you do, but thank you. I think you inspire a generation of younger actors who look at you and sort of hope to be able to do what you do. Thank you very much. Looking forward to lots more.